Hi everyone, it's Jennifer from Fiberflux. In this video, I will show you how to crochet the Finger Crochet Sparkle Cowl. This is a beautiful cowl and it's done without a hook. We're going to be finger crocheting this cowl. If you'd like to check out another video on how to finger crochet to just make a test or practice swatch, I have another video called How to Finger Crochet, and that teaches you the very basics. I'm going to show you the very basics in this video as it relates to this project, but if you'd like to do a little test piece or learn a little bit more about it, definitely check out that video. So for this project, you'll need some yarn. Super bulky yarn works best for this project. You'll need your fingers and a pair of scissors at the end. For the blue cowl shown here, I use Lion Brand's Wool Ease Thick and Quick. And this is the Mystical colorway. It's kind of like a ice blue color, but it has some sparkles through it. And I thought that would be really pretty and fun for this cowl. This is a great project for kids to teach them about crochet and the world of yarn. And I used about 92 yards. That's how much this skein was. I used the full skein. Actually, I just wanted to show you, this is how much I had left. I just had a teeny tiny bit left. The cowl shown here measures about 10 inches wide and has a circumference of 25 inches. And it's a very cozy, thick cowl. And because we are using our fingers, and this makes for a thicker, wider crochet hook, it makes very kind of loose, open, pretty drape. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using another super bulky yarn, Lion Brand's Hometown USA. This is the Seattle Sea Mist, in case you're wondering about the color. It's a really pretty, kind of silvery lavender. Our cowl is crocheted in a large rectangle, and then at the end, we're going to seam it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to start your project with a slip knot, how to make your starting chain, how to work row 1 and row 2, and finally how to finish your cowl, seam it, and weave in the ends. So let's get started. To begin our cowl, we're going to put a slip knot on our fingers. To make a slip knot, wrap the yarn around your fingers to make a loop. Bring the yarn behind the loop, reach in with your finger, and bring up that loop. We're not going to make it too tight because we want to be able to put our index finger and our thumb into that loop, okay? Next, we're going to do our starting chain. We have a starting chain for this cowl of 14. If you want to make your cowl a little wider, simply make your starting chain a little longer. Same thing if you want to make your cowl narrower, just make your starting chain shorter. But we're going to do a starting chain of 14. Our chain is worked the same way as when we're using a hook. So we're going to pretend our finger is our crochet hook. Wrap the yarn around your finger and bring it through the loop, just like that. Okay? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and see how I'm using my thumb as a helper. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to get some more yarn. 11, 12, 13, and 14. So here is our starting chain. It's nice and loose. And now we can move on to row 1. To work row 1, we're going to work a single crochet in the second hook from our finger. The loop that's on your finger does not count. So let's count 1 chain and 2 chains. So in this chain right here, insert your finger into the chain, wrap the yarn around your finger and bring up a loop. You'll now have 2 loops on your hand, or your finger, I should say. Wrap the yarn around your finger again and bring it through both loops, just like that. Okay, let's do that one more time. In the next chain, insert your finger into the chain, wrap the yarn around your finger and bring up a loop. Wrap the yarn around your finger again, bring it through both loops. We're going to do this in each chain all the way across till we get to the end. Let's get some more yarn. This goes through yarn very, very quickly because your finger acts like a very large hook. So you're going to move through your yarn very quickly. So insert your finger into the chain, wrap the yarn around, bring up a loop. Wrap the yarn around your finger, bring it through both loops. Insert your finger into the next chain, wrap the yarn around, bring up a loop. Wrap the yarn around your finger again, bring it through both loops. So let's look at what we have so far. Starting to shape up and get a little bit bigger. Okay, let's keep going. Insert your finger into the chain, wrap the yarn around, bring up a loop. Wrap the yarn around your finger, bring it through both loops. Insert your finger into the next chain, wrap the yarn around your finger, bring up a loop. Wrap the yarn around your finger again, bring it through both loops. Okay, we're just going to continue doing this all the way across. And I wanted to mention that as you do this more and more, with each stitch, this will feel less awkward in your hand, and you'll eventually gain some speed. But in the beginning, if you're just learning how to do this, definitely focus on the accuracy of your stitch work and not the speed. The speed will come later. Okay, so we worked it into the last chain. So row 1 is complete. It will look kind of like this. Okay? Okay, let's move on to row 2. To work row 2, we're going to chain 1, same way we did when we made our starting chain, and flip your work over, turn your work. Okay? We're going to do the same thing, working a single crochet, but in each stitch across. Last time we did it in each chain across. Okay? So locate the first stitch. That's going to be, if you look at each stitch you just completed, each one has a loop at the top, and each loop has kind of a V, 2 little yarn loops. Okay? So you're going to insert your finger into that very first stitch, wrap the yarn around your finger, and bring up a loop. Wrap the yarn around your finger again, and bring it through both loops. Very similar to the previous row. Okay, in the next stitch, we're going to do the same thing. Insert your finger into the stitch, wrap the yarn around your finger, bring up a loop. Wrap the yarn around your finger again, bring it through both loops. Okay, we're just going to do this all the way across until we get to the end. Just like that. And you'll notice as you work more and more rows, your cowl is going to grow very quickly. So I'm going to continue working across, and let's rejoin towards the end of this row. So I'm just coming up to the end of the row, and again we just worked a single crochet in each stitch across. Now when you come up to the end, we've come to the last stitch, but we still have where we did a chain 1 and turned our work, this little turning chain. It might be a little smushed. You might have to kind of pull it out like I did just now. Insert your finger into that space, bring up a loop. Yarn around finger, bring it through both loops. Okay? So row 2 is complete. It'll look kind of like this. Looks very loose and open, and because of your finger acting like a large hook, it makes a very nice soft drape. Okay? So to finish your cowl, you're just going to keep working row 2 until your cowl is as long as you would like it to be. Okay? So when you're done, you're going to need to seam your cowl. So let's move this sampler out of the way. I have here the cowl that I've finished finger crocheting, but we have not seamed it yet. We're going to seam it, and this is very, very easy. You don't need a needle and thread or anything. Okay? So let's go to our cowl. I'm just going to open it up. Now this is the last stitch we worked. Again, I repeated row 2 over and over until the cowl is as long as you would like it to be. I worked my cowl until it reached about 25 inches. However, if you want a shorter cowl, just stop sooner. If you want a longer cowl, just keep going. You could even keep going with another skein of yarn and make this an infinity scarf as well. So I kept going again for 25 inches, and I just wanted to point out, I used the full skein of my yarn. This is all I had left. So when you're working up your cowl and you're getting to where you're liking the circumference, well, the length now, when we seam it, it will become the circumference. But you want to save a little bit of yarn at the end just to seam. You don't want to work until, you know, this is our other tail, but you don't want to work until you have this much yarn because you're not going to have enough to seam your cowl. And then it'll become a scarf if you don't have enough to seam it. So anyway, you're going to just take this last loop that you worked and insert your finger. You're going to match up these edges like this the best you can. Just match those edges up. Then you're going to take this loop and insert it into the loop on the other layer, then flip it over, because in crochet we work from right to left. Okay? You might need to flip your finger over, and that's okay. Okay, so just get your yarn, your working yarn that you're still using. You can get the tail out of the way. We'll deal with that in a moment. Okay, so you're just going to wrap the yarn around your finger and bring it through both of those loops, just like that. And then if you need to tighten a little bit. Now, you're going to locate the stitch on the first layer, locate the stitch on the second layer. Wrap the yarn around your finger, bring it through both layers, wrap the yarn around your finger, and bring it through both loops. This is a single crochet seam that we're going to do. We're just going to continue with this seam all the way across. So insert your finger into the top layer, insert your finger into the bottom layer, wrap the yarn around your finger, bring it through the loop, wrap the yarn around your finger again, bring it through both loops. Insert your finger into the top layer, the bottom layer. You need to feel around a little bit. That's okay. Just try and get it lined up the best you can. And as you go along, you might need to reline it up a little bit. Okay? Insert your finger into the top layer. Insert your finger into the bottom layer. Wrap the yarn around your finger. Bring it through both loops. Wrap the yarn around your finger. Bring it through both loops again. Okay, insert your finger into the top layer, insert your finger into the bottom layer, wrap the yarn around your finger, bring it through both layers, wrap the yarn around your finger, bring it through both loops. Okay, just kind of reline everything up here. Insert your finger into the top layer, insert your finger into the bottom layer, wrap the yarn around your finger, bring up a loop, wrap your yarn around your finger, bring it through both loops. Okay. Moving right along to the end of our seam, let's just line everything up. There we go. Okay, insert your finger into the top layer and the bottom layer, wrap the yarn around your finger, bring it through both layers, and bring up a loop. Wrap the yarn around your finger, bring it through both loops on your finger. Insert into the first layer, insert into the second layer, wrap the yarn around your finger, bring up a loop, wrap the yarn around your finger, bring it through both loops. Okay, we're almost to the end. Insert your finger into the top layer, the bottom layer, wrap the yarn around your finger, bring it through both layers, wrap the yarn around your finger again, bring it through both loops, insert your finger into the top layer, insert your finger into the bottom layer, wrap the yarn around your finger, bring up a loop, wrap the yarn around your finger, bring it through both loops. Okay, we're coming up to the end. Just going to do the same thing and then do the same at the very end of our row. Just locate that very edge there. bring it through, wrap the yarn around your finger, bring it through both loops. Okay, before we trim this, we just have a little bit of yarn we estimated correctly. And I just wanted to show you the seam here. So this is going to be the inside of our cowl. And then we're going to, before you trim, sometimes when you do a seam, you'll flip it out onto the right side and it'll look sloppy. So just feel free to do it again. I've had to do that before. It's no big deal. So just flip it out to the other side before you trim, just to double check your work. And our seam looks really good. It blends nicely. There's no gaping holes. It looks good, okay? So now we can trim our yarn. So what we're gonna do is we have our loop where we left off. So just leave that alone and then cut your yarn. You can save this for recycling into stuffing a pillow or a toy or for the birds or something. Then you're gonna put your finger back in that loop and just bring this tail through. Just like that to fasten it off. Then we're gonna have two tails left. So what you're gonna do, just with your fingers, go ahead and weave. You can just even see these top stitches. Go ahead and weave that tail in and out across the top. Okay, I'm just using my fingers, no fancy tools. You don't need a needle or, you know, a tapestry needle or anything like that. These loops are plenty big enough that you can just do this with your hands. Okay, now I like to come into the other direction as well, the way we just came, because it just gives you a little bit of insurance against it popping out. It's not foolproof, but it certainly helps. Okay, and then we're gonna just trim that end. And then you can just give it a little tug. Everything will kind of straighten out. Okay, this tail's a little shorter, but we'll do the same exact thing. Just come in one direction, just weave that in, end in. This is very, very easy. I love how there's no tools. It's a nice change of pace from if you have a complicated project you're working on, or if you just want to go outside the box a little bit. This is a great project. So just trim that tail as well. Now we get to turn our cowl right side out. Okay, our seam looks really good. It blends, doesn't stick out, no holes. So our cowl is complete. And then when you wear it, you can kind of twist it up a little bit to give it some texture. But it looks great. We did a great job, okay? So that is how you crochet the Finger Crochet Sparkle Cowl. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure and click the red subscribe button to get all the latest Fiber Flux video updates. Thanks again.